Hi, I'm Marty,
And I'm Effie.
and we are the Mums, Mysteries and Murder podcast.
Each month, we take turns bringing you mysteries and true crime stories from our respective homelands, Australia and Scotland.
But be warned, there's no shrimps on the barbie or oui, Jimmez.
Excellent accent, Marty.
No one has shrimps on the barbie in Australia. It's prawns, and they don't even have prawns on the barbie. Anyway.
Disappointed. You can find us on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and join us over on Mums, Mysteries and Murder on Instagram.
It's not big or clever, but it is entertaining.
Hey listeners, my name is Kayla and I am the creator and host of a new podcast called Dark Tales from the Road. We cover true crime, spooky, creepy, and ghostly stories, and I want to take you state by state and country by country to bring you stories you may not have even heard of before, and also learn some history on the city and the state where it takes place. So join me on the road as we discover dark tales. New episodes are posted every Wednesday. I have an Instagram, Facebook, and a Patreon, all at Dark Tales from the Road. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Ugh. I just feel people freaking themselves out constantly. It's this thing that living people left here. Residual fear.
We have a lot to talk about, girl. Like,
I know.
shit has gone down. And like we talk every day. Like, that's the thing.
I know, but there's stuff we want to share with our friends too.
I know. We have so many friends.
I'll try and make the actual recap short, even though it's a fucking doozy.
Oh God.
All right, let's do our hellos and then we'll get in.
All right.
We'll get into it.
We should start. Perfect.
Hello. Hi, Ghosty fam. Welcome to the Activity Continues podcast. If you're new here, we are friends and soul sisters who recap episodes of the TV show The Dead Files and talk about other creepy shit, as well as exciting things such as who is our favorite TikToker this week and learning about Megan's D&D and what TV shows we're watching and any other
Monday
thing that comes into
up.
our little pea brains.
Yeah.
So this is Amy.
And this is Megan. Thanks for joining us again. So this week, Amy is recapping the Dead Files episode called Hotel Nowhere. And it is season 2, episode 21. It originally aired on May 31st of 2013. So coming up on 10-year anniversary.
Whoop, whoop. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I chose this one because I remember this from when I was first watching the show back, during quarantine, when I watched like 7 episodes a day. And when I first discovered the show and I was obsessed, I couldn't stop. I couldn't watch anything else.
I know, you told me, and then I got obsessed.
Yeah, and then I messaged Megan you gotta watch this episode.
And then she was like, we should start a podcast.
The beginning.
I know, because I have this weird thing about starting shows from the beginning.
I do it too. I watch everything in order. I feel like I have to, even if it doesn't.
Even if there's no plot.
Yep.
But
I do the same thing.
Now I'm a rebel and I'm watching fucking episodes from every
all
season.
over the fucking place.
I've grown as a person.
That's right.
This podcast has helped me grow spiritually,
oh my
ecumenically,
God, me too.
Relationally.
Isn't that
Just
crazy?
kidding. No, I'm just coming up with the adverbs here.
Yeah, no, they're good. I like them.
Thanks.
So yeah, but it was one that stuck out to me. And it is the last one on my little note card of things that I want to do. So I'm going to need y'all's suggestions coming after this. But the reason I wanted to cover it, the reason I liked it, is because Amy ripped the client a new one in this one. And it gave me joy.
I love it. And as soon as Amy not Amy Allen, but podcast Amy hinted to me, I was like, did they do ghost tours?
Yeah.
That's like the only reason she will yell at somebody is
Yeah.
if they do ghost tours or if they like work with a Ouija board or other shit.
Or a dandelion jar.
Yeah.
I messaged Megan about this when she sent me that, and I was like, yep, he's doing this and this and this. And I said, this guy is Elvis from episode 1. Elvis times 10.
Gross.
Yeah. He even looks like him a little bit.
Is he worse than the Villisca axe murder house guy?
I did not hate that guy.
Okay.
I know
But
you didn't
hate
like
this
him.
guy?
No,
I didn't like him.
I wouldn't say hate. That's a strong word. I found him obnoxious and irritating.
Okay.
And I was about as mad as Amy at the end because he is blatantly like, don't give a fuck. I do what I do.
Then why would they bring him in?
This is one thing I'm not sure of. Why did he make it onto the show?
I don't know.
We can get into that in a bit because I have some thoughts. But anyway, that's why I chose it.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
Okie
dokie, Artie.
I really couldn't think of any content warnings about the episode, really.
Okay.
Because there really wasn't.
Good.
I mean, I have to think about the past now. Might have been something in
past,
history, and if there is,
and future.
I'll do a voiceover if there's something that comes up. I don't recall there being like, I don't think any kids died or anything like that.
Thank God.
I know we need a break from that shit.
Oh Lord.
Okay. We remembered partway through that there was some talk of abuse of vulnerable people, both mentally and physically ill.
Perfect.
Back to the show.
Life. Back to reality.
So we need to welcome a new YouTube subscriber.
I love this name.
Mist Man. I didn't really, it just came up today, so I haven't looked at who they are or anything. I assume it's a man. But I don't know anything else about it. I will double check. But anyway, welcome, Mist Man.
Welcome, Mist Man.
Yep. And then a little update on the videos that I have been kind of on pause with for a while. I'm finding that since we are recording like a week ahead than we used to, I am having enough time to get the episode done before I have to worry about the next one. And so I'm going back to looking at the video and trying to learn the new program.
Mm-hmm.
And today I just ended up doing the video for episode 57. I did that today, but I just did it in the old version of the program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning. It's taken some time. Old dog, new tricks.
Plus new programs can be tricky.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the same program. It's just like the updated version of it. And it's weird and it's extra and it doesn't have all the things in it that I'm used to. And
why do
controls are all gone, not where they're supposed to be.
Why do they gotta make updates? Like, can't we just like, if it's not broke, don't fix it?
I mean, it's much more enhanced and it's much more has a lot more options and choices and stuff, which is not what I wanted because I had it figured out the way I want it. And yes, it might be amazing once I get my shit together. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just a pain in my ass.
A pain in the patootie.
Pain in my patootie.
Excuse the language, but we've already said this isn't a kid's show.
So. Oh, no, yeah. If there's any content warning at all, it's that we swear.
It's that we swear.
Like sailors.
F-bombs every other word. I was married to a sailor, so it does make sense.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I don't have any sailors in my life. I guess I don't have an excuse.
You're friends with me, so
yeah, that's it. That's part of it. Yeah,
sailor by association.
Right.
Sailor twice removed. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Stop.
Funny. One thing I wanted to mention for everybody is if you're not on Twitter but you adore Amy Allen, this is good news and bad news. She is trying to set up a subscription thing. I don't know what you would call it. Program via Twitter. I didn't realize Twitter was doing this, but Elon Musk will try and grab money from anybody any way he can. So,
well, they're under review by the FTC.
Yeah,
Twitter is.
They probably should be.
Yeah.
So she is starting this thing. It's basically like Patreon, except that she's probably not going to make as much money because Elon Musk is going to take it all. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of people like me who hate Twitter and don't really want to use it. I only use it because we do get some we don't have a lot of followers,
Right.
but that the people that do follow us are really engaging, and they we have some great Twitter followers that send messages and
They're
send
real people.
requests, and and
They're
so
not bots.
no, they're not bots. They're real people.
Good.
And so that's the only reason I stick with it. Anywho's, so Amy is setting up this thing. She's trying to get, and you have to be approved by Twitter to get this program rolling, which is bullshit.
Probably because they want to make sure they're going to make money off of it.
Probably, yeah.
So like you have to have X amount of followers.
Yeah. Yeah. When she has a lot of followers, I'm sure she's fine with
She's
that.
the best.
There's no way we could do it.
No.
But
hey, we have some.
Yeah, we have like 55.
Hey, that's double digits. Okay.
It's over 50.
Exactly.
So, anyway, what she wants to do is so that you pay a little bit. I don't know how much she doesn't even know yet what she wants to charge. And then you would get like some exclusive content that you wouldn't get if you weren't a subscriber. And there are things like videos or interactive lives and
Oh my God.
things like that. I know.
Legit, I would pay like a lot of money for Amy Allen to interact with
I
me.
hate as much as I hate Twitter. I will pay for it if she
I would
does
pay for it. If
Don't
Amy,
tell Elon Musk that. But
if Amy interacts with me, I will shit my pants.
yeah.
And
Yeah, when she tweeted me, I was like, I got nervous. I started like hyperventilating. I'm like, oh my God. Because first of all, I thought she was mad at me.
Right.
And I was so scared.
The worst.
I know.
I will like sacrifice my husband if she will talk to me. Just kidding. I won't do that.
No. Well, you kind of already did in the game anyway.
Oh God. Yeah, we'll get to it. Don't worry. We played again, so I've got it.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So at any rate, she's doing that. So check it if you want to do. I was hoping that I could like convince her to go on Patreon instead, but that's a whole new thing she'd have to learn, and she probably isn't interested in that. Anyway, that's what she's doing. If you want to go over to Twitter, find her, and make sure that you find the right one, the one with the blue check.
There's so many Amy. Like I sent Amy, our Amy, a message, and I was like, "It's Amy Allen," and she's like, "No, it's not."
Too many T's.
Yeah.
Too many L's. Yeah. So it's at AMYALLANTDF. And if you see anything else with the blue check mark, if you see Amy A. Allen or Amy Allen with 3 L's or Amy Allen TTDF, that's the newest one.
And you got to be vigilant because they will copy her profile.
Yes,
like
they copy the profile,
posts,
the pictures.
Same everything.
They're worse on Instagram, actually. I think than they are on Twitter. I haven't seen as much on Twitter. Instagram, I get a new Amy Allen following me every day.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous.
Is that how you know you made it?
I think so.
Twitter followers?
Yeah. That must be. Well, because what they do is if you follow them back, then they can message you. So then they message you and say, do you want a reading? And they try to get you to pay for it. And Amy doesn't do that. So
Amy
if that happens, it's not Amy.
It's not right.
Nope.
It's not right.
So speaking of Patreon, I wanted to just do a little Patreon push. We haven't done that in a while.
Push it.
So push it real good.
I'm a very musically mood tonight, so I'm apologizing in advance that everything will be a song.
Well, I'm going to make another drink, so
yes,
you can sing during that.
Thank God.
We'll do that after I'm done with it.
My
Patreon
American Idol needs to be released. You give me a microphone, it's going to happen.
Well, it takes off 10 pounds, as we realized last week. So remember?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. At least.
Yeah. So anyway, I know we talked about when we started Zooms that we were going to do live happy hour Zooms with our Patreon. And we never did that. But frankly, it was because we only had one patron that was in that tier, and she was local. So she just came over to my house.
Yeah. And we just hung out.
Yeah. But I think
brought
we should.
Some amazing liquor.
We did. Oh, yeah. She brought some.
And she brought
nice
some fish.
Snacks.
Didn't eat, but Amy said it was good.
It was really good. I'm not a huge fish eater either, but it was like a smoked fish.
I think it was
mousse
salmon.
Kind of thing. It might have been salmon. Yeah. It was delicious. Mousse? It was like, it was all whipped up.
Oh, for a minute, I thought you said the animal, like
no,
animal, and I was like, we're talking fish,
mousse, like
whipped,
a whipped.
I'm here.
I know whipped fish sounds weird, but
it sounds gross.
I know it does. And the first time I had smoked trout mousse, I was in California, and I was with this bunch of people that I didn't want them to think I was a pussy, and so I ate it, and I took just a little tiny little bite, and all it was salty and creamy. and delicious, smoky.
Nice.
I'm a fan.
Nice. That's
So,
good.
it's really good.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
so I think we should go
Yeah.
back to our original plan and do some of these
Yeah.
happy hour Zooms.
Yeah, I
And
think
so let's say we're going to plan one for April.
Yeah.
And we'll pick a date. And so if anybody out there listening wants to join us on our happy hour, just join our Patreon. You can join at the $1
Mhm.
rate, $1 a month. And if you come and you join our happy hour and you don't have any fun, you can cancel after that.
Yep.
It'll
We won't
cost
be
you
offended.
$1 here. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So come on over. We'd like to get
That's
some
not
more friends
even-
in there.
That's less than a bag of M&Ms.
That's right.
The individual size.
Yeah.
Inflation is a bitch.
I know.
At
Good
least the
Lord.
price of eggs is going down.
It is. I know.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would ever go down because once
I
they raise
never-
prices on something,
They don't
I always
go
think
down.
they're not going to go back down because
I
people will
kn-
pay the $7.
Right.
So just keep charging $7.
I'm so glad they went down.
I know. I love eggs. I eat a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
I just made a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs so that I have them in the
Nice.
fridge for when I am snacky. Like
Yep.
probably when we're done with this, I'll have to go eat one.
I know. I'm thinking too. I'm hungry. So
Yeah. So also I have a couple of TV show recommendations. I
Lay it on me.
started and finished in like 3 days
okay.
on Apple TV called Bad Sisters.
Okay. I've
It's-
never even heard of it.
I had not either, but somebody in the Streamerinos group on Facebook mentioned
Mhm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I was hooked immediately.
Okay.
It is a story about 5 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is married to an asshole. And I'm not giving away too much because this happens in like the very first scene, but he is dead in the beginning.
Okay.
He has died. And basically the whole season is us trying to figure out how he died.
Okay. The watcher trying to figure it out.
Yeah. They know
Okay.
how he died.
Okay.
And then it's told it goes
Like-
back in time and then it
Okay.
goes
So
forward
like
and then it goes back.
okay. Ooh, that's.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Sometimes those are really annoying.
Well, you know what though? They make it really easy to keep track.
Okay. Good.
So like whenever they're going to switch between the present time and the past, thing comes up on the screen that looks like a viewfinder almost.
Mhm.
And then it goes
Okay.
and it goes back and then it
Nice.
shows you another one and then you're in the past.
Okay. That's
and then
good.
it goes and you're back in the future. So
Okay.
it's real easy to figure out.
Okay. Good. Because I'm
Great.
dumb and I need
Yeah,
those.
I know. I need those too. I have trouble with time
Can't-
jumping things.
You can't put too much in front of me. My teeny tiny brain gets confused. I don't
Well,
know.
it's a really good show.
Okay.
I would say it's very dark humor. It's
Okay.
funny. It's not a
Okay.
comedy. It's a drama, but
Okay.
it's a murder mystery.
Would you say it's more like a dramedy?
I guess you would say a dramedy. Yeah, more
Or it's-
heavier on the draw than on the midi.
Than on the midi.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
And then I started watching another show called The Lowe Files,
Okay.
and it's on Discovery Plus, and it
Okay.
is Rob Lowe and his 2 sons.
You love Rob
I
Lowe.
do love Rob
You
Lowe.
love Rob Lowe.
And I love his sons now too.
Yeah.
So I started
His
watching
one son,
this.
isn't his one son, don't they troll each other?
Yes, they both
Yeah.
do. Both of his
Yeah.
sons do.
Okay.
Yeah. They're funny.
They are funny.
Hilarious.
You've sent me some of them and I've LOL'd,
Yeah.
as the youths
L-
would say.
You actually LM.
I actually,
no.
no, I didn't LMFAO.
No.
Laugh my fucking ass off. It's
No.
still there and it's quite large. I wish I would LMFAO.
If only we could lose a little bit of our asses by laughing. That would be.
I'd be so thin.
I would be laughing a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a fun show. So they do stuff like they go explore like mysteries and things like
Oh, cool. Okay.
like anomalies or whatever. But the
Mhm.
first one was a haunted one. They did go on a ghost hunt.
Ooh,
And so right up my alley.
Right.
And Rob Lowe is a hopeful skeptic. Like
Okay.
he wants to believe like me.
Yeah.
I do believe. But there's some things where I'm like, oh, that's
Oh.
not, that's an
See,
orb, that's not an
I'm-
orb or whatever.
I'm the scammer's dream because I believe literally everything.
Yeah.
Until Amy's like, okay, but that's not real.
Think
And I'm
about
like,
it this
"Oh,
way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I
Yeah.
have something to
Okay.
ask about the video that you shared That video that you shared with me on TikTok.
Oh, I did watch it all the way through.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
So this is the video for anyone that's listening and doesn't know
And
what we're
of
talking about.
course, I watched it late at night. Oh my God, it was so scary, Amy.
It was, I'd seen it before. And
I
so
hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw it from the same one you shared it with me, which is that lady with the beautiful blonde hair.
Yes.
And then she was showing the video. I don't think it was her video. I think it might have been the original. I don't know. But anyway, I saw it. And it's about a guy who buys a house in, I want to say, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
Beautiful old Victorian.
And then he starts renovating. And we all know what happens when you renovate.
Yep.
We all know. I'm not even going to say it because we all know it.
Yep. And so some shit was going down in his house.
Yep.
So he made a video.
Right.
And the video is pretty scary.
You guys.
He's carrying his cell phone. And he's taking the video.
He's hearing things. And so he's walking around going, hello. And you see a door open. Oh my God. And he of course, the exact opposite of what I would do. He's like, I'm going to go in there. And I'm like, I would fucking nope out of there. So he goes in there and I only know bits and pieces because I had to close my eyes.
I'll fill in what you.
So he goes in the room and it's like a bedroom, like a normal sized bedroom. And so he's looking around and, he's turning the phone with him. So of course there's parts that are off camera, which just adds to the suspense of what is going to pop out when he turns around. And then there's a door that slams shut. And so he opens the door and it is the creepiest fucking basement I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yep. Rickety stairs.
So
it's super dark.
Pitch black at the bottom. The stairs look like they're from 1872. Like it is so scary. And then I kind of close my eyes here. So I'm going to need you to fill it.
Okay.
I'm going to tag team Amy for this.
Well, what happens is that he either hears or sees something in the basement and he gets scared and he jumps and he drops his phone.
And run. You can hear him running out.
You can hear him leaving, but the phone is still on.
And it's up.
Yeah, it's still recording.
It's recording up.
And so it's recording the ceiling.
Yep.
And then suddenly the phone goes, it
spins around.
And then it spins and spins and spins. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know.
It's so scary.
It's really creepy. We'll link to it in the show notes.
Creepy.
But here's my thing.
Okay.
How did
you get it?
Somebody went back in and got his phone, I'm sure. Or it was uploaded to the cloud automatically. Who knows? I don't know. That part doesn't bother me. How does it record the ceiling when it's sitting on the floor? How did he have the front-facing camera on? In which case, did he have the phone turned around while he was walking? Because it wasn't showing him.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. Because if he was recording, and let's say he did have the front-facing camera on, you would still be holding the phone like this so you could see the screen.
Right.
And then if you drop it,
then the camera's covered.
On the ground.
Yeah, covered.
Okay. This makes me feel better.
And if it would flipped over so that the camera could see something, then it wouldn't be on the screen. I think. I don't know. It was confusing to me. But I guess maybe I need to see it again, but are we looking at what was recorded?
Yes. Okay, so when it spins, it completely, now it's the ceiling.
Yeah.
Before it was like the door and the basement wall.
So is somebody righted it so that the camera was on top?
Yes.
Facing up.
Yes.
So that the camera was open. Okay.
Before it was almost like it was leaning against something.
Yeah.
Because you could see. Yeah. Watch it again.
Okay. Yeah. I'll watch it again. I'll try. I'll try and recreate it on my phone.
I don't know how. And of course it's like 11 at night and I'm like, let me just watch this like a fucking idiot.
Don't do that. So speaking of ghost videos, I have something.
You have to share that. Yeah,
I want to show you.
It wouldn't play for me.
So here's what happened this is a video that I took, in the beginning of the pandemic.
You took it?
Yeah. In the beginning of the pandemic, I did a before I was doing, well, it was when I had just started doing podcasts. I decided that I was going to do like a vlog, like a daily video vlog, just how things are going, how we're dealing with the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. So I'd sit down in front of my thing, I'd turn on Zoom, talk. And I was telling my coworker about how I used to do this. And that one time something came by and went like whoosh, like around my head. And it, you know, I don't like to say orbs or anything. I'm like, it was probably a bug or dust or something like that, but it freaked me out. She goes, oh, I want to see it. Do you still have the video? And I'm like, I do. I have like 500 videos I'd have to go through to find it. Well, I was bored one day, so I started going through and I just started at the top and it was the third video.
Nice.
So
Smart.
So I clipped it and I have the video to show. So I will, for those of you who are just listening, I will post this separately for you to watch.
To our socials?
Yeah, to our socials. And maybe on the blog too. I'll put it on the blog too.
We'll just put it everywhere.
Let's put it everywhere. But right now I'm going to share the screen. And so those of you who are watching the video version.
And Megan has never seen this.
Megan has never seen this because it didn't work. Can you see it?
She tried. Yes.
You see me?
Yep.
Okay.
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere. Okay.
You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. I'm just talking about how we drink more, that we go through more booze when we don't go out and drink.
Yeah. Which is honestly probably still about the same amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's actually less because it costs so much more to drink when you're out.
But if you're drinking more, then you have to buy booze more often.
That's true. But you're not buying $9 drinks.
That's true.
Anyway. Okay. So here we go.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah. Oh. Yep. Right there. Right there. Yep. There. And I don't know.
And then there's more. There's another one on the other side.
Did anybody else see that ghost? Like, right?
See, another one came out the other side.
Yep.
Another one.
There's
came
another
out
one. You are way more calm than I would be.
I am in the basement. There's no way that this is like cars going by, reflecting on the walls.
Another one.
I don't really have any ghost stories about this house. Oops.
Yet.
Except for my pills went missing the one time. But
those are more brownies than ghosts.
What was I talking about?
Yeah.
I forgot. I get distracted by ghosts.
Who doesn't get distracted by ghosts? Yeah,
right?
That was definitely not orbs. Because they went with purpose.
Right. I thought it was dust, but it seemed to be moving with purpose. And she said, oh yeah, it was like diving.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yep. I would definitely say those.
So,
and we're not orb people. Like,
no, I
barely believe in orbs because I usually think these are dust.
Yeah. I mean,
that
it's not a lens flare. It's something.
And there wasn't anything else in the air though. Like, I feel like if there was more, if it was dust, you would have seen more.
Yeah. And I did have, I think, because I could see my hair moving. I think I did have this little fan on, which I sometimes have on in the summer, blowing on me. Oops, I just turned it on. Didn't mean to do that. So it's possible that it was kicking up some dust.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I would say those are orby.
Anyway, that's what that is. So you want to sing a song while I make my drink?
Sing a song. Now that I'm on the spot, I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, first of all, maybe this will inspire you. I am making the nightcap old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
And it is
with the 3 spirits?
Yep.
Nice.
This is the 3 spirit nightcap. This is the one that's supposed to like calm you down and get you ready for night. And Angostura bitters. And it's supposed to have an orange slice, which I didn't bother bringing an orange in here. And maraschino cherry, but I don't like maraschino, so I used a
real
I'm
cherry?
using a boozy cherry.
A boozy cherry.
Yeah, these boozy cherries.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a really pretty jar too.
Isn't it cool?
Like, that's really pretty.
Heather gave that to me. My other podcast co-host from Volsteadland gave that to me. Okay, so
I can talk. I met a person today.
Oh.
Just one the whole day. He came to talk to me at work, and I'm going to try to keep this as anonymous as I can. And we ended up talking about, I honestly don't even know how. Oh, because he told me he recently graduated from college and he was a business and communications major. And I was like, oh, I have a podcast. And then we started talking about that. And so hopefully we have a new listener with that little tyke.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was really fun. And I have a new TV show. I've been watching Dota, Dragon's Blood on Netflix. It is like an anime type show, and it's kind of a cross between Castlevania and the Dragon Prince for anybody who likes anime. But it's really good. Like, I literally have been staying up till like 11:30 every night this week watching it.
Wow.
And that's super late for me, because usually I'm like 9 p.m. we're gonna hit the sack.
Yeah. That's late for me too.
I know. So I've really been watching that. It's so good. And I'm so bummed because I think it's coming to an end soon. And I don't like that.
I hate that.
I hate it when it gets over.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, my drink is done.
All right. Well, that was quick.
Well, there was no shaking this time.
Yeah.
I'll just stir a little bit for a little ASMR.
ASMR. Nice.
Oh, I lost my cherry. It done fell right off the skewer.
It done fell right off the yeah. So she's
Good
getting
thing I
another
bought a
one,
second
folks.
skewer, so I don't have to stick the one that was in my drink into the cherries. Okay.
My mom has a magnet, or she used to have a magnet. You know the saying, life is a bowl of cherries?
Yeah.
My mom used to have a magnet that said, life is a chair of bowlies. And it had this little girl in a chair with all these bowls around her. It was really cute.
Cute.
I think my mom had that. It might have been my grandma. I don't know. Some person, a woman older than me, had that magnet.
Wasn't me.
I know. No, it wasn't.
Okay. So
all right.
That's the drink. Cheers.
Cheers. I don't have anything.
Okay.
I was drinking milk, which I know some people, I just made them gag, but I love
milk, but it's not great for when you're about to talk, but that's okay.
Nope. Yeah, I like, my husband and I drink probably 2 gallons of milk a week. Like, we love milk.
I love milk too.
It's delicious.
Delicioso.
Okay, well, I think 50 minutes later, no, it's only actually been it actually probably has been close to 45.
It probably has. Hi, friends. Do us and yourselves a favor and check out our affiliate, 3 Spirit Drinks. They create plant-based, non-alcoholic elixirs that are cruelty-free and vegan, and they are designed to give you some of the benefits of alcohol without the hangover and other side effects. If you're looking to cut down on alcohol but still want the buzz, check them out. The link is us.3spiritdrinks.com and use the promo code TheActivityContinues for 15% off your entire order. Okay, so I guess what you're saying is we should start.
So we just dive right in?
Let's just dive right in. Okay.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So again, this episode is called Hotel Nowhere, and that's a story in itself.
Not to be confused with Hotel California by the Eagles.
It is in California, though.
Is it? Maybe this is where they got their inspiration.
Oh, well, so this is when they discuss, when Steve tells us where we are, he just says, or it just says on the screen, somewhere in California.
Oh.
And they
don't
say,
okay.
Steve says he right out the gate, he is suspicious of the client's motives. So he doesn't want to say where it is.
Steve, this is why he's the detective.
I know.
Because Steve is like, this shit's sus.
Yeah. And this is where I'm like, then why did you guys go out there? I mean, I know it's not up to Steve, but
right.
It was also episode, what?
Season 2, episode 21.
Right. Season
so maybe it was
20.
Early in the show. And
it was early enough where they probably needed locations, you know? So they were like,
they didn't
fine,
have
whatever.
The applications coming in now that they do now.
Did you see that?
Uh-uh. I honestly didn't.
My light just got brighter. My ring light just got brighter. I'm going to turn it down. It's too bright. Okay. Now it just got dark after I stopped. One more up. Okay, I'm not going to touch it. Not touching it. Okay. Anyway, it's in Clovis.
We need an old priest and a young priest right now.
You didn't see any orbs running around over here, did you?
Do you have flies? Are there flies around?
No.
Okay, good.
Thank God. Oh my God, that was one of the scariest parts of Amityville Horror to me. Was
Can
all
we
those
not talk about
fucking
Amityville Horror
flies.
because the whole movie terrified me. The whole
Me too.
movie terrified me.
I saw it when I was in like 4th grade. And
What?
I know. I don't know what my parents were thinking. But
Well, they did tell you about I don't want to say the monkey people. The Moonies? Moonies.
the Moonies, yeah.
The Moonies.
They told me to be careful about the Moonies who were going to convince me to be in their cult and take me away.
Okay, we need to talk about something else because I'm getting scared with the Amityville Horror and the flies. It's my own fault, honestly.
My parents were weird. They used to also tell me that when I was naughty, they were going to sell me to the gypsies. Yep.
Okay. Moving on from
we don't use that word anymore.
No,
but that's what my parents used to say. But this was in the, early 70s.
That's a whole lot to unpack. And honestly, we don't have the time.
Yeah.
Or the degrees.
Not tonight. Not tonight, we don't. Some other time. So anyway, it's in Clovis, California. And Todd is a single dad who bought this mansion with the idea of turning it into a hotel that he would then be able to pass on to his son someday.
Okay. As you do.
Yep. So Steve is giving him the benefit of the doubt for now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I noted that this guy even looks a little like Elvis from episode 1. And
maybe they're in cahoots.
Yeah, maybe. But was he? Oh, he was in New York.
I don't know. I just wanted to say the word cahoot.
Yeah.
Doesn't get enough airtime.
No, it's a good word. So, but yeah, again, I was like, what? I think I mentioned last week that when I was doing some research on this before I even rewatched the episode, I noticed that this guy has been on a bunch of other ghost shows.
It's never good.
And the first one he was on was in 2008. And he was on something in 2010. This is 2013.
Yeah.
So either the production crew did not follow up or they knew about it
didn't
and were
care.
like, fuck it,
We
whatever.
need it. We need it. We're still early enough that we need it.
And I'm not necessarily, calling them out or blaming them or anything. You do whatever you want to do to make a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But, and they did, like I said, rip this guy a new one. They did not protect him, basically.
Good.
They showed him to be the
beehole
twat that he is. Anyway.
Language.
I know. We say fuck all the time, but you can't say the T
twat.
word.
Twat.
So,
okay, quick
speaking
side
of the
note.
T word.
Sorry.
Yeah.
When I was in the Middle East, this girl was from British and they pronounce it twat. Or
Twat.
she did.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? What is that? What are you saying? It's twat.
Did you say she was from British?
Oh my God.
Where is British? Is that anywhere near the UK?
It's close. A little bit northeast.
Okay, got it.
I'm smart in other ways.
Okay.
Don't make fun of me.
Oh boy.
British. Lord. Okay.
Okay, so Steve's talking to Todd. Todd. And
That's such
Todd
a
says,
frat name.
isn't it?
Yo, Todd, bro, what's up? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm really done.
No, don't be
Amy's
done.
like, I'm 2 sentences in.
Well, a couple paragraphs, but
See, that's fine.
I can stay up all night. I don't care. So he is worried because the activity is ramping up. So some of the things that they're finding are footsteps, apparitions, people are being touched.
Oh, I
Steve
hate
says-
footsteps.
I know.
I hate them. Like, of all of the things to happen, footsteps creep me out the most.
Really?
Yeah, I hate footsteps. I hate them. I don't know why. I don't like them. They creep
Did I
me
ever
out.
tell you the story about when Greg and I went to stay at our friend's house? They had a old, beautiful, big old house in St. Paul, and they had a dog, and they were going away for the weekend, and
Was
so
it the dog?
Huh?
Was it
It
the
wasn't
dog?
the dog, no. And so we were staying at their house, and we were sitting in the living room. We were sleeping bags on the floor.
Why would you in a
down there.
bed?
Huh?
Did they not have beds?
They had, but we would just thought we'd sleep on the floor and watch
Okay.
movies and stuff. And so we watched The Haunting.
Of course.
The Haunting.
Because why? What else would you
Yeah.
watch?
And we heard something, and we are like, what
I
was
hate
that?
this.
And we shut the TV off and we're listening. And we heard what sound we went. This was on the main floor, right? There was a second floor, and then there was a third floor attic type thing. But it was the kind of attic that was like, I don't want to say it was finished, but like it had rooms and doors.
Was it like your attic at the old house?
No.
Because you had like that movie area up
Yeah,
there?
we had like a movie theater up there. Yeah, no, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
It was, there was nothing up there. I mean, nothing you could see.
Well, there was something.
But it had rooms and like doors. And so it was like another floor.
So it was like another floor.
But it was,
Yeah.
It had a vaulted ceiling and all that.
Okay.
Anyway, so we go up to the second floor. We're looking around. We're like, is somebody in here? What's going on? And while we're on the second floor, we hear coming from the third floor what sounds like somebody sweeping. Yeah. And so we ran back downstairs. And then when my friend came home, we told her, she's like, oh, yeah, that's the sweeper. We hear him all the time.
And Greg is a skeptic.
Yeah.
Gregory.
I know. I'm going to have to remind him of the sweeper. I had forgotten all about
I was telling the kid that I met today about Greg. And I was like, he's literally had encounters with ghosts.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't believe.
No.
I was like, he's had a ghost talk to him.
Yep.
Still doesn't believe.
No.
Oh my God.
He just thinks he's imagined everything. But I'm like, we both heard the sweeper.
That's the thing. When you're by yourself, okay, you can convince yourself. I imagined it. It was the wind. But when more than one person hears it, and when the owner of the house, that's no. Greg, you're just in denial. Denial ain't a river in Egypt. And Greg's boating in it.
Yeah. Because he used to believe more than
what
he does
happened?
now. I don't know. Okay, this is Amy. So I spoke to Greg about this. He remembers it, but in a much less dramatic way than I do. He basically said, oh, yeah, the sweeper. I remember that. It was squirrels. So there you have it. Squirrels.
Greg. Okay, well,
anyway.
Now I'm terrified. So let's keep going.
So Steve says that people in the neighborhood told him, which means that he went around and canvassed the neighborhood. Is like, what's up with this guy?
Oh, so sorry. You said footsteps, apparitions, people being touched.
People being touched. Yep.
Oh, that's it. Okay. I just want to make sure that I didn't.
Oh, yep, that was it. So Steve he says to Todd, I asked around the neighborhood, and people say that you occasionally turn this into a haunted house. And he fesses up and says that at Halloween, he has turned it into what he called a haunted attraction.
Oh.
He did that for 8 years.
Don't pretty it up. Don't sugarcoat it.
And each October, for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, 30,000 people came through in that 2-week span.
Per year?
Per year.
Holy.
Yep.
Oh, Amy's going to be pissed.
So Steve preps him by saying, Amy's not going to like that. Because you are exploiting the dead.
Yes, you are. And she hates that.
And they don't show his reaction.
Especially when you call them to come in and help you.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to be
This
pissed.
is why I don't think he called them in to help.
Right,
he called them in to get publicity for his fucking thing.
For his haunted attraction.
Yeah. Well, we find out later that the haunted attraction is no more.
Okay.
But
good.
For his hotel, I assume, is what he's looking for publicity for.
Oh, right. Yep.
So he has done some work because the place was pretty dilapidated when he got it. And he says he believes that he has stirred some things up.
You think? You fucking idiot. No, it's not me doing the ghost tours that stored it up. No. It's when I started renovating. You moron.
So then we see Amy come in. And the first thing she says is there's a lot of people here and they're sick. And they were coming at her, like charging at her.
Okay.
And they were making her really nervous and she didn't want to go upstairs.
Were they coming at her to like try to get her out or just overwhelmed because there was somebody there that could help them?
I think they were more like running to her like, oh my God, someone who can see me.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, that's what I think. I'm not positive. Yeah. But they were not all good, So.
Amy, if you're listening, you can clarify.
Yeah. Give us a jingle.
Feel free.
Send us an email. Tweet us.
Or Instagram us.
Yeah. She feels that people are freaking themselves out here, the living people. There are living people freaking themselves out. She says it's something that living people left here residual fear.
Okay.
So I think she's feeling what the people in the haunted house felt when they were
Yes.
going through the haunted house.
So yeah, like that makes total sense.
Mhm.
If you think about the cases that I've done and that you've done where the like residual emotions,
Yeah.
of course you're going to leave residual fear if 30,000
30,000 people a year.
Are coming through.
Yep.
You fucking idiots.
And that's
This
just the
guy.
people coming to the haunted
Yes,
attractions. There's
That's
more.
not even including other. Oh my god.
The hundreds of ghost hunters that he's had through.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
so she
God.
hears,
You're like, oh God, I'm so scared. But it's not real.
she
Mhm.
said, the dead people are showing her people who are alive acting
Okay.
like that, and the
Okay.
dead are laughing at the living.
That's pretty good.
And that makes me think of Ellen, when, Ellen DeGeneres, when she sends her staff through the haunted house.
Yep.
And they always jump around. Those are
Mhm.
hilarious, I think.
Mhm.
But. So, anywho, so Steve now on the second floor with Todd, and Todd says a lot of groups have come through here exploring and investigating and doing EVP sessions. And Steve asks about how many, and Todd says maybe 100. And then later, when they ask him again, like at the reveal, he says, at least 100. So
This guy.
Yeah, I know. So about 2 years ago, he stopped all investigations. And I was like, well, except for Amy.
Except for Amy, this one.
And then
Did he say why?
No, well, he said that they had to shut the building down because the city said the building was unsafe.
Wow. So you're not even like working to make this building habitable. You're literally just exploiting it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. In my opinion, don't cover this up and say you bought it for your kids. You bought it to exploit.
Yeah. He bought it to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're back at Amy. She says the living here put more negative energy into this place than the dead have.
Oh.
A lot of stuff has been cleaned here. She said a lot of people are coming in, like psychics, coming in, talking to the dead. And she says they think it's fucked up.
The dead do?
Yeah.
They think it's up. When I come in, I say, just let me know what you want people to know. This is all they want people to know. This is up. This is sick.
Wow.
They are mad.
I don't blame them.
I don't either.
They're being exploited.
Yep. So Steve talks.
This guy doesn't care about him. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. He says he doesn't. So he talks about when he was redecorating a wall and an entity showed up and rushed him. He screamed and then it was gone. Steve tries to debunk it by asking if it could have been traffic lights, etc. And the guy says no. So now we're at Amy. She confirms that the dead are attacking people in this area because they're fed up with being harassed and now they're fighting back.
I don't blame them.
I don't either. And they're trying to force the living out of this space. That's kind of why they're pushing people and stuff.
Right.
So now Steve and Todd tells him that this used to be a sanitarium.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. And he goes, there's even some old records left up on the second floor if you want to go through them.
Yeah, because Steve's like, sure.
So my thought was, oh, sure, those are old records. When did you print those out and make them look dirty?
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because if I don't believe one thing about him, I don't believe anything
No.
that he says. So,
No, because
he's already lost all credibility
Right.
with me.
Right. And I'm sure with Steve.
Yeah.
I'm sure the second he told Steve that he's had not only haunted attractions, but ghost hunters,
Yeah.
I'm sure Steve was like, fuck this guy.
He's like, all we need now is a Ouija board.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if it came out later in the episode.
Yeah, I don't think it does. But anyway, so then they go outside and Todd is pointing to this vacant lot. Looks like a vacant lot next door, but it's part of their lot. But he says this is where the hospital wing was. It was 10,000 square feet, had 17 bedrooms, and Steve asked what happened to it, and Todd says he had it demolished. He said when they were getting ready for Halloween, the Halloween attraction, something came up behind him and touched him on his lower back. It felt like a human hand. He turned around and no one was there.
And that's why he had it demolished?
Well, he said that right after that, so I assume he was like, yeah, that was part of it. He was finally scared.
Mm-hmm.
So now Amy says, I think there were a lot of people here who were mentally ill. So she's gotten, she's figured out that it's a sanitarium.
Yeah, because she's the best.
And it's creeping her out because she said they can't really communicate very well. They're either drugged out or nuts, her word.
Jeez.
But she's leaning toward nuts because of the way they were moving. And then Matt's like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, they're like crawling up the walls.
I hate when they do that.
I know. And then she says,
Oh, I don't like them.
Same. I wouldn't like him either.
oh,
I can't imagine anybody to be
I
like,
can't
no,
imagine
really
being
like
able
that.
to see that. Oh my
I
God.
know.
Just,
And especially because she said multiple times that they appear like normal, like quote unquote regular people.
yeah, they're not necessarily
see-through. So you
Yeah.
just, oh God.
I know.
This is a creepy one.
This is a creepy one.
I don't like it.
So now Steve is talking to Glenda, who is Todd's sister. She's much more
And
normal than Todd.
the good witch of the East.
The good witch, Glenda. That's right. Steve notes that she is uneasy. She gets the shakes every time she comes into that place.
Mhm.
And a friend of hers had some kind of attack when she was there. Like, she thought it was a heart attack. They brought her to the hospital. It sounded to me like a panic attack.
A heart
A
attack.
heart attack.
Yeah, that sounds like a panic attack.
Yeah. So Glenda says she's been touched. She feels them patting her head.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I don't like it.
No. So now Amy's heading down to the basement, and she doesn't like it. She says she doesn't like it because the dead hang out here a lot. And she said
Okay.
one man is pretty agitated. And there are people who in life were locked down here.
Shoot.
Yeah. It's chaotic. They're screaming and they're banging on the walls trying to get out.
Bless them. Oh my
Mm.
God.
You know, it's so, I know we've had this similar conversation before when we've run across this in these shows, but you know, when people were put into homes
Mhm.
back then,
They're just forgotten about.
yeah, and they were treated so horribly. It
I
just
know.
breaks my heart.
It does. And now
So
it's what's
awful.
even worse is they are like being treated like that in their mind in the afterlife.
Yeah.
They can't even find peace.
Exactly. And Amy says that at the end too.
Oh, because Amy, we're so
Oh.
connected. Be my friend. I'm not crazy.
Be my friend. I'm not weird. I promise.
I'm super normal.
Oh, Amy would take one listen to this podcast and she'd be like, "Oh my God, those two
She'd be
are
like,
so
these, they're weird.
weird." Mhm.
She'd be like, and delete.
Every time we lose a Twitter follower, I go to check to see if it was Amy, and if she's still following, I don't care. That's
I
fine
don't
as
give
long
a-
as she's
yeah.
still following.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, so Steve is still talking to Glenda, and she says at first she was really excited for Todd, and she encouraged him.
Mhm. So
But
it's
now
her
she
fault.
thinks they should just bulldoze it and build something else.
But still,
I know.
like that doesn't always save.
Got to be in the land, too.
It could be in the
Yeah,
land.
could be in the
Yeah.
land. Steve asks if she would stay the night, and she says no, she would
Fuck
never
no.
shut her eyes in that house.
Oh wow. Not a good advertisement for a
Yeah.
hotel.
Hotel where you sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you sleep overnight.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No. So now Steve's talking to a former employer. Her name is Laura.
Okay.
And she was one of those pop out and scare people at the haunted attraction people.
Yep.
She was hiding in a closet in a black cloak, and she felt herself being pulled back into the closet while she was waiting for her turn to jump out. And there was nothing there. She turned
Obviously,
around, and there
she's
was
in a
nothing there. She
closet,
had a
like-
flashlight. There was nothing in there. Nobody in there.
I don't like it.
So she ran out scared, and Todd stopped her on her way out and said, "You look like you've seen a ghost." And then
This
said-
guy.
I know. And then said, "What are you doing? Get back in there. We're ready to start." And she was like, "Fuck that shit." And she
Good. Good. I
I
like
know.
Laura. High
quit.
five.
Prick. I know.
He's such a douche.
So this is the first time she's been back. And
Wow.
you can tell she's really nervous.
Yeah. Does Steve say that? Because he usually points that out.
Yeah. Well, he's like, "How are you? Do you feel okay?" And she's like, I'm really nervous." So now we're at Amy. She's walking through and she says,
This isn't good. It isn't cute. It's not funny. It's kind of demented.
and then she repeatedly hears the dead saying how they're repulsed and sick of the living antagonizing them. The
Oh,
dead yell at them and try to push them out with their energy, and it can get
Mhm.
pretty violent.
hmm
Now, Steve's driving over to the county coroner, Dr. David Haddon, and he asked for what kind of patients stayed at the sanatorium. And he said it started out being a tuberculosis clinic or whatever, tuberculosis hospital.
Mhm.
And he explains how TB patients would be coughing up blood and
Yep.
coughing nonstop. And back then, it was the second leading cause of death in the U.S. And they didn't say when exactly, or if they did, I've missed it. He said there would, at this point, sometimes be 5 to 6 bodies in the basement waiting for the mortician to come pick them up, and they'd be there for days.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How awful.
I know. And he says that
they can't even treat their bodies with respect after they've passed.
And because they're diseased and the bodies are, sorry, this is gross, rotting. That just perpetuates the disease and helps spread it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve asked about that, and he said, yeah, that made it worse.
Of course it did.
Yeah. So Amy sees a woman leaning up against the wall. She's sick.
Especially in California when it's hot.
Hot. I know. Can you imagine?
It's not like we're in Alaska here.
I know.
Oh.
I don't even want to know what that place smelled like.
Nope. Mm-mm.
It probably still smells. Shit stays in the walls, you know.
It does, yeah.
So Amy sees a woman leaning up against the wall, and she's sick. She sees a guy in the corner throwing up, and she sees a lot of illness. She sees dead bodies. They travel as a pack in there.
Okay. Probably because they feel safer that way.
I know. She said they don't want to be bothered. That's why they stay down there in the basement. And she said there's a lot of sadness and fear.
I'm sure.
The doctor says they had one nurse for every 20 patients. And these people were so sick, there was no way their needs could have been met.
Right.
There just wasn't enough staff.
Expect one person for 20 people? You probably got seen like once a week.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were probably all in one big room, just, throwing up blood on each other.
I hate this.
It's hideous to think about it.
It is.
The epidemic slowed down in the 50s, so this had to have been in the 40s, 30s,
Wow.
40s.
Plus, you're in World War II, so you're already short-staffed as it is. You've got a lot of people going to army hospitals. Oh my God!
Well, and I
just
think
keep coming.
I think that a lot of TB hospitals ended up being hospitals for like when there weren't any TB patients anymore.
You got to think that they would be back burners to those people.
Yeah.
The staff probably treated the normal, healthy people first.
Yeah.
Like, who are these tuberculosis? We don't care about them.
I don't know that they could put military in the same hospital with the TB people because it was so contagious.
Yeah. Especially since you have rotting bodies.
Right. But I think like after, I think it was in Downton Abbey that was where they just brought the military into their house. That's different. Okay.
No, they did. They were, it was a hospital because,
yeah, but I don't think it was a TB hospital.
What was the youngest one's name?
Sybil?
Yeah. She was the nurse. I loved her. I was so sad when she died. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for a 30-year-old
10-year-old show. Yeah. I still haven't finished it. I need to finish it.
I didn't watch the newer ones.
I haven't even finished that one.
Oh.
I got to where Matthew died, and then I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. That was really upsetting.
First Sybil and now Matthew? Fuck.
Okay, but Matthew, the guy that plays Matthew, is in Legion. You got to watch Legion.
He's also Beast in Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
I love him.
He's adorable. He is. I love him so much. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Anyway, TB. Anyhow, back to TB.
So,
that could be an episode title. Back to TB.
Back to TB. So doctor said blah blah blah. Sanitariums went out of business in the 50s when the epidemic slowed down, and this one then started taking in the mentally ill. Conditions actually got worse at this point.
Just when you thought it wasn't
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. There were many complaints filed against the people who worked there.
Who's going to do anything? Nobody cared.
The staff would leave the patients tied to toilets, leave them nude in the hallways.
Tied to toilets? How do you even do that?
Chained, I assume. They probably did it because they were sick and they were just going to, at least if you're next to the toilet, I don't know. Leave them nude in the hallways, over-medicate them, and they did shock therapy.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
No wonder this place is haunted.
I know. Can you imagine how many souls must be in there?
I hope they can get them moved on. I really do.
I do too. So the place closed as inspection standards became higher. It got shut down.
Good.
Amy feels someone being held down against their will. They're fighting back. And one guy is getting his head slammed into the wall.
Oh my God.
I know. There's a lot of crying and screaming. And she says people died here from mental or regular illnesses, and accidents happened here that resulted in death.
Oh, I thought of a trigger warning. Um,
Yeah.
mental
Mental
patient
illness.
abuse.
Yeah.
Oh my
I was
God.
thinking that too, because this gets pretty gruesome. I mean, I don't think it's going to get any worse. I think we're over the worst part. So now we're at Steve, and he's going to look through old records, aka
Dig into the archives.
And one name keeps popping up, Carl Lamoureux.
Okay.
And he goes to meet, Steve goes to meet an attorney, Monray English, female.
Ooh, that is a name.
Isn't that a cool name?
And I love it.
I know. So Carl ran the facility from 1973 to 1985, and he died at the facility. My further research showed it was on Halloween.
What?
And she talks about how there were many, many claims filed against him, and lots more came after his death. He was a prominent and intimidating person in the community, and so I think that's probably why he got away with it. Also, he was an administrator for not only the Clovis sanitarium, but others as well, and she assumes he just couldn't keep up with it all.
So he had a little empire there.
Yeah.
Great.
So this Monray says that she knows about a lady named Gladys Brashears and her husband Lee, who ran the facility from 1942 until Lamoureux took over. And there's lots of claims against them too. So like nobody knew what the fuck they were doing when they ran this place.
No.
So Amy sees a man and a woman who oversaw this place, and they're telling her that they took care of things very well. But
Sure,
she
they
doesn't
did.
trust them.
Yeah.
She thinks they're liars. And they're saying, we did a good
Or
job.
they're delusional, thinking that they were doing a good job.
I think they were just lying, because they said, we did a good job. We did a good job. We did a good job. They kept saying it over and over again.
We did a good job. We did a good job. We did a good job. And I'm just like, no, like, I don't know what the you did, but you didn't do a good job.
Amy, she's calling him out. She's like, you're a ghost or no ghost.
Yep.
You didn't do it.
You didn't do your job. And then she hears partners in crime, and she said, this is very bad. So Steve goes now to the library to learn more about the property, and he sees an article about a guy named Tony Andrews, who originally built the place but lost it to a foreclosure. So he goes to talk to the local genealogist.
Not a gynecologist. I don't know if I've ever had a genealogist. I think you get all the genealogists.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Every time I get one, I'm like, yes.
I know. I've never had, I don't know if I've ever had one.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll have to find one for you.
I have the memory of a goldfish, so I could have had one last week and we wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know. So her name is Donette Wilson. And I noted that further investigation when I was doing some Googling and stuff, that the guy's name was Andreotti, which sounds much more, she said he was Italian, like first generation Italian immigrant. And I'm like, Andrews? His name is Andreotti. I'm sure he changed it. Yeah. So he built this mansion for his wife. He spent all his money. I know. He spent all his money and ended up losing it. And he and his wife and child had to go live with a neighbor for free in exchange for working on their crops. And so he lost his house. And it was a vineyard. So he was like tending to the grapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Tony worked the vineyards until he died at 36 of cirrhosis of the liver.
So not only was he working the vineyards, he was probably drinking the product.
Yep. That's right. Another
36.
reason to drink 3 Spirit.
That is so young. Wow, that's younger than me.
That's very young.
Wow.
So now Amy sees this little guy, she calls him, and he rules the roost here. And he's really saddened by the state of this location because it was really quite something back in the day. She thinks he was forced to let it go. She thinks it was somewhere in the 1920s. And he never liked people being here. He's disgusted. And she has a really bad feeling about him. Okay, so now we're at the reveal. They never stop. They don't go. I shouldn't say they never. They don't have a section here where she's going to the sketches. They go straight to the reveal. Okay. Which is a new little twist.
Maybe they were like, we don't want to give this guy any more airtime than we need to.
Well, then they should have skipped the reveal. But anyway, no, the reveal is the best part, to be honest. So it's Todd and his sister Glenda. And you can just see Amy like sizing him up.
Well, the dead have fucking told her.
They've already told her what a twat he is.
Yes.
So
twat. if you're from
Twat.
British.
If you're from the British, or in British.
You're from in British.
In Britain. What did you say?
I said she's from British.
She's from Britain. Okay.
She's from British.
First of all, a guy outside that ruled the roost, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve knows exactly what she's talking about. It was built in 1922. He got in over his head. In 1927, he sold, died in 1929. And she said, yep, that's who she saw.
Jeez.
At the top of the stairs, the energy of the sick people. They're severely mentally ill. She talks about them crawling on the ceiling and down the walls. The chaos that was in their mind is now in their body.
Oh, man. But that's like a deep line.
Yeah.
That's a good line, but
It
it's
is a
really
good line.
sad.
Yeah. So Glenda is very sad for these people. She's crying. She's not
because
like
Glenda is an empathetic person.
Yes. And I think it comes out that she's, okay. So hang on. So Steve explains that around 1940, it became a sanitarium and they had TB patients and then the mentally ill. Todd says he's had people come in with him and out of nowhere throw up. Glenda tells about her friend who got violently ill and one that I think was a panic attack.
Yep.
Amy says now she has a sketch. And then they cut back to her with the sketch artist.
Got it.
But it's short. Okay.
Super
so
short.
then the sketch is quite something.
Is it in the drive?
It is.
All right, let me go to it.
And there's several pictures of it. There's two that are the whole sketch. And then I zoomed in on a couple of the pieces of it.
Oh.
So it's like a hallway with the stairs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
That's terrifying.
It's a woman walking down the hall, and then there's
very close to the wall, like pressed against the wall. Looks like there's a child behind her and a man behind. So it's the woman.
Something black, like almost like a shadow thing behind the child.
Yeah.
And then on the wall going up the stairs is like a squiggly.
It looks
black,
like
scratchy thing that appears to be crawling up the walls.
And it looks like it's like a person, but not a person at the same time.
Like you can see a hand, you can see fingers.
You can see two hands.
A legs.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Although this sketch artist is really good.
Really good. I know, isn't it?
Better than the other one.
Yeah.
Is this what you saw? I just went to the next picture of their face.
Oh, the one where they're blowed up a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, the lady's face she's got like big, like round eyes wide open and then black circles around them.
Okay, the thing behind her, it does not look like a child. That looks like an old bald man looking up at her, grabbing her arm.
I need to look at it a little bigger it looks like there's a child behind her, like hiding behind her, sort of.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. That doesn't look like a child.
Oh, well,
to me,
I see.
That looks like
Are you talking about the dark shape?
No.
Okay.
The thing holding onto her hand. It almost looks like he's got a beard looking up at her.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, I hate it. Stop zooming in.
To me.
Stop zooming in. It just zoomed in.
I zoomed in too. Okay.
Oh my God.
So then if you look at the other pictures, and you guys, I will post these too. You can see Amy's face and how pissed she is.
I know. She looks real
She is like, okay. So that's the sketch. And then,
oh my God.
When they put the picture down in front of Glenda, she like recoils and she's like, she can't even touch it. And she goes, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gave me goosebumps. That's really creepy. Especially when I blow it up and saw her wide eyes.
Yeah. I'll post all of those so people can see them.
Just have your rosaries ready because
old priest and a young priest.
Yep.
So now Amy is talking about all the mistreatment she saw, particularly the woman being held down and the man getting his head beat in. Steve talks about, there was all this abuse and claims against the hospital, and the hospital wing used to be there. And when it was knocked down, that's when activity increased. And then Amy talks about a creepy thing that she saw and this man and woman repeating that they did a good job, and she doesn't believe them. And Steve talks about how all the people who ran the place, Lamoureux and Gladys Brashears and her husband.
Yep.
And then the basement, Amy says she saw lots of bodies coming and going, and they wanted to leave. They are trying to reach out to get help. They are trying to get help from the living, and they reach out to whoever can see or hear them.
Yeah.
And Glenda sees and hears them. So Amy says she's probably as sensitive.
Yep.
And then Amy drops, I'm feeling fear from the living here. Over many years, the living have left their fear behind. It's not healthy. And she got that sensitives walk the place, do seances, try to communicate with the dead here.
Nope.
And she says, when that happens, it leaves scars.
Don't do seances.
And
Don't.
Steve goes, I'm going to call you on the carpet now. And this is when I'm like, yes.
Call you on the carpet?
Yeah. To Todd.
Okay. I don't.
It means to like call you out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he says,
why don't you tell Amy what you've done to make money in this place to turn this into a dream hotel for yourself?
And you can see Amy start her eyes are starting to be like, what? And
so
Todd
Steve
tells
doesn't
her,
like him either.
no, nobody likes
Steve's
him.
the best.
Guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Steve tells her that for 8 years, he had over 30,000 people coming through over the 2-week period at Halloween time. Amy interrupts him to say, holy shit. Then he says,
and my ultimate goal would be to completely refurbish it back to a beautiful home and pass it down to my son and have it opened up for the public to come in and stay the night.
As a nice hotel,
As a nice hotel.
not a haunted hotel.
Bingo.
Well, if people have an experience in here, I can't control that. But if people do want to come in here, that's up to them.
and Steve goes, but would you advertise it as a haunted hotel?
Yes.
And then they cut to commercial.
He would.
And then they come back and they run that all again.
Yep.
And they show Amy waiting for an answer. They show Steve waiting for an answer. And then he just says, Todd just says, yes.
Yeah, of course he would. Of course he would.
And then this is where Amy really shines.
She
She says, and I'm going to put this whole
I
thing
need
in.
to just watch the reveal of this episode.
Yeah, you should. It's really good. I was literally cheering and I had tears in my eyes. I was so glad that she said this.
Because she's got to advocate for the dead.
I know.
They're not just commodities.
I know.
These were people who not only were tortured in their life, but now they're being tormented when they're gone.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So here's what she said.
How would you like to die and be tormented and stuck? Think of the most that happened in your life, the worst you've ever been through, and you're reliving that every single day. And now you're going to be with through eternity. Really think about that. I'm just saying. It bothers me.
And then he goes, well, I have respect for what's here. Like I come in and I say hello and everything. And she goes,
You don't have respect for here.
He's like, I say hello and I come in and everything.
Oh,
and she
great.
goes, and so you should. And she says, you have a lot of dead people here and they are at their wits' end.
Yeah.
And then Glenda goes, I'm never coming back here again.
Good. Glenda's
Yeah.
like, fuck this shit.
She's like, yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out. Amy says you need to provide counseling for the dead that are here.
Yeah.
She suggests a transpersonal psychologist.
Okay.
And they are psychologists that can work with dead people and with live people. And she said for those who don't respond to treatment, they will have to be more aggressively moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Steve asks, how would you do that? And she says, an exorcism. They're not human anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're sociopaths and killers, but they're not human anymore.
Yeah.
And Steve says,
years and decades and maybe even centuries of torment
right.
have probably taken whatever humanity they had.
Yeah. They're just squiggles on the wall now.
Yeah. That's what you've done to them
Mm-hmm.
by exploiting them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't all him, but
No.
he didn't help.
He made it worse. Yeah.
He made it worse.
Yeah. So then Steve says, it sounds like you have all the intentions of not listening and making it a haunted hotel. And Todd sits there for a minute and then he goes, correct. Where I just wanted to fucking punch him in the throat.
Fuck you.
So Amy explains, if he goes forward, you do so at your own risk. You are not only putting your guests, but yourself at risk.
Who cares about him? Honestly, I care about the guests.
Yeah. Yeah. So Steve asks if he will at least do the stuff Amy suggested before opening the place. And he says, absolutely. But I don't believe him for a second.
No.
Nope. Steve ends with basically, if you want to do this, it's fine, but we're not helping.
Right.
And then there's a Steve voiceover. I mean, it's a voiceover, but he's there too. Recorded later and popped in.
Yep.
Where Steve's talking to the camera. And he says, if you want to help him torment the dead, I'm sure you can find this location, but you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Which is why they wouldn't even say where it was.
Good.
And then the thing at the end,
yep.
Todd has yet to contact a transpersonal psychologist.
Were you able to find any other information?
Yeah, I found out more.
Oh, yeah.
So the building, okay, so it was Wolfe Manor when he lived there because his last name is Wolfe.
Of course, he's a douche and would name it Wolfe Manor. What a fucking prick.
I know. So I can't remember what year. I guess I didn't put it down. At some point, he was forced by the city to stop operating as a haunted attraction due to it being an eyesore. And it was causing neighboring property values to decline. Mm-hmm. And then he tried to turn it into a bed and breakfast, but then in 2014, the city decided to have it demolished.
Good.
So it is
only a year after this episode aired.
Yep. It is basically just
land.
Just land. There's nothing there. I Google mapped it. If anybody else wants to, the address is 2604 Clovis Avenue. And I went and looked and I couldn't see anything there. I could see, I watched a video and I'll put the link in here to it as a YouTube video that he's on another show and I can't remember what it was called. It was called My Ghost Story.
Okay.
And he's in this a lot talking about his house and his manor and all this shit. And they show them driving up to the house. So you can see the house next to this house. And so I was able to look at that house and then the Google Maps and figure out which one it was. And it is just a plot of land.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he said, so then there was an article that I'll link to too, where the city said we had attempted to work with the property owner for at least 5 years to clean up the property, improve it, or have it demolished. And we've had no luck in doing that. Mm-hmm. So in this point in time, it's moving forward to have it demolished. And then there's a quote from him saying, I'm very frustrated and I don't understand.
I found another article just now.
Yeah.
Crews tear down Wolfe Manor in Clovis. And it says that he is estimated to he's expected to owe the city about $40,000 for the demolition.
Yeah. And that's only if he can sell the land.
Right.
So they knocked it down, but he had to pay for it.
Wow.
I wonder though if the land is still if there's still souls
they
there.
Interviewed Danette Wilson. Isn't that somebody that they talked to?
Yep. She was a gynecologist.
Yep. She said there's so much history to this house and it was so sturdily built. To me, the structure was so sound. There's nothing falling apart and crazy about it. It just needed a lot of tender, loving care.
Mm-hmm.
Owner Todd Wolfe eventually gave up his efforts to save it, and signs and letters from residents were not enough to make a difference. Oh my God.
Yep.
And it's like everybody in the town didn't want it torn down. It's just a sad day. Oh.
I find that hard to believe that not everybody did, because if it was making their property values go down,
there
are other people that didn't want it.
Somebody said it's just a sad day that they're tearing the house down, said James Coburn of Clovis. It's kind of sad for my family, and a lot of people in Clovis don't want it to be torn down.
That's possible.
Yeah. Jeez. Wow.
So that's that.
Wow. That was a good one.
Yeah, you should watch it. It was really good.
I'm going to have to watch it
Yeah.
just to see Amy rip this guy a new
Oh my
asshole.
God, it was so good. I would love to just take a video of the whole thing and play it, but I think it would be a copyright infringement. So
Yeah.
I'll just tell y'all to watch it.
Okay. Well, you should be watching it anyway.
Yeah. So do you want to pick a number for the Alanism? It's Alanism
Oh, we
time.
got to say what episode we're doing
Oh,
next
right.
week.
Oh, do we do that before?
Yeah.
I was thinking we do that after.
No,
Okay.
we do it.
Okay, Megan, would you like to
Alanism
tell
is
us
the
what
last
what to
thing.
expect?
We're a mess. Yeah, so I'm doing the one that Carrie suggested. It's called The Devil's Bidding, season 3, episode 8. Nope, just kidding. I'm literally looking at the number.
Mhm.
Episode 7, season 3, episode 7. It originally aired December 13th, 2013. So we're sticking in 2013.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. Amy's like, do you know what episode you're doing? I was like, nope.
She's
She
like,
goes, "You wanna-"
I'll know by the time we record.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I have a suggestion for you. If you didn't want to do it, I'd do it next time. So
I know,
it
but
really
I'm like,
matter.
nope, I'm doing it because I don't want to have to think
Yeah, that's good.
about which episode I'm doing.
Let's just hope it doesn't have child death in it.
Let's hope so. If it does, I'll let Amy know,
Yeah.
and
And then we'll pick another one.
We'll pick another one. Yeah.
It is time for an Alanism.
It's time for an Alanism.
All right.
Alanism 46. 9:46.
Okay.
We've been recording for an hour and a half.
I don't even know what this means. Okay. This is in regards, he's talking about Hollywood films.
Okay.
And the quote is, "The thrust of connection was repudiation."
All right.
I'm not even sure I know what repudiation means.
I'm going to Google it.
I am too.
Who's going to do it first? Repudiation.
I only have a mouse to work with. It is a rejection of a proposal or idea, or the denial of the truth or validity of something.
Really? That's not what I got. I got the act of repudiating, the state of being repudiated, the refusal of public authorities to acknowledge or pay debt.
Huh.
How do you spell it?
Repudiation.
Yeah. The act of repudiating.
Mine comes up as under, it must be the Oxford Dictionary that mine is showing.
Yeah, I have Merriam-Webster.
Oh, I see Merriam-Webster down below. Yep.
Yeah. These supporters, an example, these supporters see Putin. These supporters see Putin rising supreme from Ukraine's ashes to lead a swaggering nation defined by its repudiation of the West.
Okay. So
All
let's go the quote again. The thrust of connection was repudiation. I still don't.
Yeah.
It still doesn't make any sense. Does it? I don't think it makes
another
any sense.
repudiation, the rejection or renunciation of a duty or obligation. What? That still doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't make any sense.
No. Oh,
Dad,
Alan,
what were you talking about?
feel free to let us know because
Probably doesn't
we
know
don't
either. He probably doesn't
He's
know
probably like, I don't fucking know.
No, I was losing my mind back then.
Oh, Alan, it's okay. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. This
Thanks,
was a good
everyone.
one.
Yeah, that was fun.
We'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds Podcast Network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.